Hello, it's Ross. Ross Cook Balancing. Glad to visit with you here tonight. Welcome. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite constructs that's alive and well in all of our lives every day, and that is the Pygmalion effect, or the Rosenthal effect, and we'll get to more of that in a moment. It came to the world's prominence and everybody understanding it and at least witnessing it in a story in the idea of the movie and the Broadway play My Fair Lady. Amazing story. It was Rex Harrison, Audrey Hepburn, and so realize that was them in their prime. And so there's many of you who may have not seen the play or the movie. The movie was big time. It won 8 Academy Awards. My Fair Lady. It's the story of a very pompous, arrogant phonetics professor who hears a beautiful, street, poor, cockneyed accented flower girl speak, and he ends up setting a wager up with one of his friends that he can teach this woman to speak proper English, and then she could be passed off to all high society in London, and they wouldn't know the difference. They would just be like, wow, she's amazing. Where's she been all our lives? And that was the bet. Okay. So as the play progresses, it actually happens. She learns, and there's drama, and it goes on. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. In the end, the final conflict is the fact that it works. Everybody falls in love with her. London thinks she's the toast of the town. She's the brightest and the best they've seen. She's charming. She connects to people. It's amazing. But in the end, the man who was the professor to her, and these are the famous people. This is Eliza Doolittle, right? And this is Professor Higgins. These are famous archetypal people we hear about. This is Eliza Doolittle. And in the end, though, while she's won everyone over, she still believes that she's thought of, and she is, by her professor as still a street girl, as still a flower girl, as a poor, cockneyed accented young woman with not much to offer, while everybody else saw it completely differently. So Pygmalion comes from this story and has been something that's been around a long time. The concept of Pygmalion is the concept of high expectations. And when you hold high expectations for someone, it translates to those people. Quite frankly, they found out in the Rosenthal experiments and the Rosenthal effect that it also translates the other way. So if you have low expectations of someone or a group or a team, or you subconsciously translate that message to them. We cannot account for the seen without having faith in the unseen. That is Ernest Holmes. To believe in life is to believe in the invisible. And think about it for a second. Have you ever really seen love? Did it go walking down the street in front of you? You've seen the effect of it. But have you ever actually seen it? Okay, have you seen the energy? There's a lot of invisible that connects to us all day long, and yet we believe, no, it's just this standard who and what we are, not unlike Professor Higgins believed. It was the phonetics making the difference. No, she learned the skills, but in his mind it never changed. Believe in life is to believe in the invisible. Let's take Pygmalion another step. If you've gone through education programs and you've gotten your education degrees, they're going to talk to you a lot about the Pygmalion effect. And they're going to say that if you have high standards about kids, those kids are going to react to those high standards. And there have been experiments, which they no longer do because they affect young minds and young kids' belief systems and values about themselves. They've had experiments where they said, I don't know, teacher, I don't know how it happened. You got all the smart kids. It's amazing to me. You got them all. And you know what happens in that classroom throughout that school year? Those children achieve and they knock the top off of everything they do. Because that teacher unconsciously believes that they're the brightest and the best that are out there because they believed what they were told. And one of the reasons they don't do these tests anymore, they also did the converse of that. They said, well, you got all the kids that aren't quite as bright, and then all of those children in those classes behaved accordingly. To expectation. High expectation, high reach, high explosive growth. low expectation, and they meet that standard too. Now, okay, so you say, okay, that sounds pretty mundane and rudimentary. We've seen that kind of stuff a lot. All right, way to go. Well, it's deeper than that. Remember the invisible we spoke about a moment ago. They've done this test with rats. And they would tell the people, the grad assistants doing the maze programs with the rats, you've got all the white rats, and you know what? The white rats have always been smarter than everybody else, and they've always been smarter than all the other rats, whatever color they are. And you know what? Just don't tell anybody, but you got all the white rats, and you got all the smart rats. And guess what happened? The white rats out-achieved all the other rats. Well, conversely, in other control groups, they told people, all the gray rats, all the black rats, these are the smart ones. And you know what? Every time, what the humans were told and they believed about the expectation of those rats, the rats acted it out. To believe in life is to believe in the invisible. So you can't fake it. You can't fake it. You have to genuinely believe in the good. You have to genuinely know it, because they'll know the difference. That's where sometimes you have to learn to live in the question a little bit more before you're ready to go forward and just grab one more answer and throw it out there and say, that's who I am. Like I'm jumping over rocks in the middle of a stream and I'm going to get out there. Yeah, no. Fight the urge to jump from what is one new truth to another new truth. You have to learn to live in the question. Trust the invisible. To believe in life is to believe in the invisible. We can't believe in what we see if we don't believe in what we don't see. Ernest Holmes was really clear on that. Hey, Grizz, good to see you. Hi, Jenny. The spirit of the mind has all causation in it, and if you believe it has causation in it, then it also has effect in it. Just like when you pull a bow back, the two extremes move to the middle. The universe in unity would be the bow, and your understandings of the world would be in opposition. Reach out to the invisible. Trust the invisible. Pygmalion is real. And if it works with rats, it works with people, it works with everybody you meet today. So have a high expectation. I was working with some clients today and I said, these are tough situations. You know what I can offer is we're going to do some deep journeying within, and we're going to do some healing today. And the thing I want you to come out on the other side with, the thing I want you to use as the bridge to wellness today for you, in your highest expectation of you, in what is your highest and best good, let's just use abiding love on those people. So that every time I think about them, I only feel abiding love, just flowing, bigger than I can imagine, love. Not love, abandonment, love, hate. No. Huge, creative, abiding love. And if you can energize that, what do you think happens? If it were in the rat situation, you're running mazes, what do you think the effect would be? If it were working with someone who was learning a new language, what do you think it would be? If you were working with children, co-workers, loved ones, what do you think it would be? Hold them in the highest standard, the highest level that you can absolutely energize and believe, and your life will get weller. And you know what? Their life will get weller too. Yours will get healed first, then their life will expand into goodness and health. I'm Ross Cook. We're at rosscookbalancing.com. We're around. You can get me at rosscookbalancing@gmail.com. I want to hear from you. If these things make sense to you, if you'd like to see them a different way, I've gotten a lot of feedback that you really loved when we were out in the woods and stuff running around. We'll be back over Thanksgiving running out in the trees and stuff and bringing you Facebook Lives from there. We're here for you. We want to help you. What I hope for you, dream for you, imagine for you tonight is that you live your life slightly differently because of what we've shared here tonight, and just do it a little differently. And until we see you again, Jomo.